All right, I'm back. So, customer calling, telling me that he ordered the wrong part. I'm in the middle of traffic, so not much I can do about that right now. So, yeah, there's two accidents. One on the 285 freeway going into Santa Fe, and another one on Interstate 25 in between the two metros. And being that this is a mountainous area, guess what? No alternatives. Awesome. So I got a 2-hour ride home. Isn't that great? Even the frontage road is backed up now. Terrific. Oh, when are they going to widen this out to 6 lanes like they're supposed to? This is nuts. So yeah, I mean, this whole tumult that we're going through, GenX is going to lead the way. And our opportunity to properly mentor. Because remember, Donald Trump if he wins the election, even if he doesn't, or I should say even if he doesn't, but let's say that something happens to him between now and the election, his party is so far ahead right now that it would usher in J.D. Vance, a zennial. So if he wins the election, he's broken the power of the boomer because he's handing the torch over. And if he doesn't win, there's no way our party's not winning. If he doesn't survive, something happens to him, and Mr. Vance has to step in his place, then he's broken the power of the boomer. And then it'll be up to us as Gen Xers, even though we're not, there's a bunch of us in places of power. Ted Cruz, Rand Paul, Jim Jordan. We will be the mentors. So we have not been skipped over. And the good part about it is that we're the ones now that we did the boomer party for the first half of our lives. We're returning back, at least the Gen X men, we're trying to find our way back to our traditions, our roots. And we're pretty much standing on them, and we're the ones calling for that. And as the conflict comes to be resolved, the younger generations who have had their minds literally poisoned by the boomers are going to turn to us and be like, okay, what's next? So everything that us Gen Xers have been calling for to be reestablished and the foundations to be put back down. We were the nomads. We were the voice in the wilderness for most of our lives. And part of us got drugged back into that shitstorm. I know I did. But now that we're coming out of it, we're like, okay, we're the ones who are like, okay, do you know what? We don't want to move the markers. We want to go back and find the landmarks. In the Bible it says, don't move the landmarks. And it's not talking about physical landmarks. It's talking about cultural, ethical, and moral landmarks. Well, now we're the ones crying out to go back to the landmarks. And we're going to lead these millennials and these Zoomers back to the landmarks. Right now, they're under the curse of the boomers. Right now, they're under the curse of follow your heart and the money will follow. Whatever, right? They're under that curse. But according to the fourth turning, it's going to be us, the nomads, who through the period of conflict and out on the other side will be the ones to lead the next greatest generations, which will be the millennials and the older Zoomers, back into the standard. So it will be in another 10 years, if things work out the way they're supposed to, it'll be us Gen X leading our millennial and Zoomer younger brothers and sisters once our alcoholic parents have finally kicked the bucket, proverbially. It'll be us leading our younger brothers and sisters into the 1950s all over again, right? Without the racism, of course, because that was never cool with us anyways. So, it's kind of a positive thing, but strong men make good times. Weak men make bad times. Bad times make strong men. I know a lot of us Gen Xers like to kind of look down on and talk down on our millennial younger brothers and sisters, and rightfully so. But they're according to this, and even the Zoomers, the older Zoomers, according to this, they're with our tutelage, with our leadership, once the poison shot of boomer parentage goes away, it's under our tutelage. They're going to become a great generation. And the next 2.5 generations, us, well, we're the next generation now. We're in the middle of it, but we're kind of like stuck under this boomer cloud that doesn't even fucking rain. It's just hot and cloudy and doesn't rain. The boomer cloud, right? Once that dissipates and we get back into the good weather, then we'll finally get our day in the sun. It'll be brief. It'll be very brief. George Patton's day in the sun was brief, right? Washington's day in the sun relatively was brief. He died a relatively young man, even for his time. Our time will be brief, but our legacy will be passed on to the generations following us, and the Gen X code will be the one that survives. Just remember, it's always darkest before the dawn, right? But that PBD podcast dropped today. I encourage you all to go listen to it. It's kind of like, I don't foresee the big state, the American government, giving up anytime soon. Matter of fact, I think the establishment will be, will fight being dislodged tooth and nail, and perhaps that will be an internal civil conflict. Perhaps it'll be a global conflict, because there's a deep state on a global level, right? On a global level, there's a deep state. And perhaps it'll be a hybrid civil conflict on a global level, along with what's going on with the wars between nations in different parts of the world too. I think it's going to be a hybrid type of conflict situation. They're not going to go easy. You know, that establishment's not going to go easy. So it's going to be a fight. But, you know, and they may try again at Mr. Trump, and they may be fortunate next time. But I don't think that even if they were to take him down, right, that in the long run they would be successful. Because what happened when they killed Leonidas and their 300 men, right? Was that the end of the Greco-Persian conflict? No, it wasn't. Why? Because very shortly thereafter there was the battles of Thermopylae, right? And then a generation later, you had this guy from Macedonia who pretty much rolled over the Persian Empire. And the Persian Empire didn't reemerge until several hundred years later, contemporary with the emergence of the Roman Empire. They were two they were competitors. They had like a little Cold War going on, you know, the Parthians and the Romans. It was kind of like the Soviets and the Americans, right? The Parthians being the Persian Empire. But yeah, I mean, for 300 years after that, till the emergence of Rome, or about 200 years after that, until the emergence of Rome, it was the Hellenistic empires, you know, the Ptolemies, the Seleucids, the Cassandrins, so on and so forth, right? So, yeah. I think Saturday, even if it's a protracted fight that we have ahead of us, I think Saturday the momentum changed. I think Saturday the vibe changed, okay? I think Saturday a lot of these millennials who were living under the boomer poison got a wake-up call. And actually some Zoomers too got a wake-up call. And I think in many of their hearts, they're finally, why are you Gen Xers all Trump? Why are you Gen Xers all this? And I think it shook them. I know, like that day I went to bed, I was real anxious. The Sunday I was kind of wound up too. But by Monday, even though I'm still trying to prove and put out information and share information regards that, yes, this was a government action. Yes, the elite establishment within this country actually did do this. Okay, they set this up. They used that poor kid as their useful idiot, as their patsy to do this. And there might be more to this than we know, too. Dr. Savage actually put this out because he asked the very poignant question of, hey, where's the ballistics? Where are we doing the bullets matching to the weapons? Are we sure it was this kid's weapon and he was from that direction? But are we sure that all the bullets are from this kid's weapon? Very good question. Dr. Savage is 82 years old. He's one of the few surviving silent generation people around. And he's had a heart attack recently, but other than that, he's of sound mind and still of pretty sound health. But I got to tell you, man, that guy's got some Generation X energy. And he's got a Generation X mind. It's kind of like Donald Trump is a boomer, but he was a boomer born, he was a Gen Xer born at the wrong fucking time, right? Because he also has a very similar mind. Not quite like Dr. Savage's. And Dr. Savage, by the name, that's his show name, is a Jewish man by the name of Michael Weiner. He's got 4 degrees. He's a very intelligent man. He's a scientist. And he is an actual for real doctor, right? In ethnobotany and epidemiology and all that stuff, right? And he was also one of the biggest critics of the bullshit that was going on around the Mexican beer virus, Mexican beer disease. So, yeah, Dr. Savage, you did ask some very good questions there. But I think by Monday, there was a sea change. A very big sea change. And I think our younger generations, their eyes might not be completely open yet, but I think they're starting to be like, wait a minute. They're coming out from that boomer poison haze, right? Like when you're waking up from a surgery and you know you're in the recovery room and your mind is kind of firing, but you're still kind of fucked up and goofy. And they make you have somebody drive you home and stuff like that. It's not like you're drunk or anything. It's just that. Let me check this. You still playing? Yep, we're still playing. It's just that, you're just kind of like, you're coming out of it, When you first wake up from a surgery, it's like you woke up from, like, the deepest sleep you've been in for a while, and it's kind of like, ugh. I think that's kind of the phase they're in right now. But yeah, this whole fourth turning thing was very interesting, and it's the way that it was discussed in the pieces. I'm a Gen Xer, so the pieces that I gathered from it, I was like, all right, we are going to be that badass generation. We are going to be the George Pattons. Makes you wonder if Leonidas was a nomad generation himself. Gen X being a nomad generation. Makes me wonder if Leonidas was also of a nomad generation. If he was of the Greek, the Spartan Generation X. Money says that he was. Anyways, just a few thoughts. Close out again. The more information comes out, the more we know that this was a boomer deep state plot, that the government was using this kid and perhaps other things, but at least we are really 100% certain that the boomer government wanted to kill Trump, and that this was an actual attempt on his life by the boomer United States government with the help of the local government and law enforcement officials in Pennsylvania, with the help of this Antifa kid. That's fact. So Uncle Sam, we know you tried again to take out President Trump. We know that's a fact, okay? There's no getting around it. None. Alright? We know you did it. So cut the cap. We know that you did it. Just like we know that you killed Kennedy. Oswald was just your stooge. You, in collusion with Carlos Marcello, killed John Kennedy. You killed Malcolm X. You killed Martin Luther King Jr. You killed Robert F. Kennedy. You tried to kill Nixon. And you tried to kill Gerald Ford, too. Oh, yeah, we forgot about that. And you tried to kill Reagan, the United States government. We know that you tried to do all of it. So you're not fooling anybody. But this time around, we have the internet. This time around, we have people with phones. This time around, we have Gen X and older millennials watching you fuckers like hawks. So, no matter how hard you tried to filter your official story through CNN, MSNBC, ABC, NBC, or even Fox News, you know, the more you try to do this, you can't do it anymore. The days of Walter Mondale are gone. Or Walter Mondale. God damn it. The days of Walter Mondale. Walter Mondale's days were done in 1984. Excuse me. The days of Mike Wallace are gone. The days of, who was that guy? Walter Mondale. I can't remember his name. The big newscaster in the 60s and 70s. The one who sat on TV and cried when JFK was killed. Fucking Walter Mondale was the guy who ran against Reagan. Wow, my brain is fucking tired. Okay, the days of Mike Wallace are gone. The days of Peter Jennings are gone. Those days are done, okay? The days of the man behind the desk in a newsroom selling us the official story on 3 channels or 5 channels and everybody taking that as the official tone, that's done. That's done. Y'all took DARPANet and made it public, and then y'all allowed us to have it on these little devices we carry with us everywhere with cameras. They're able to take video and record and put it on plethoras of different media. You know, that, I know. That's a tool that you can use to monitor us and track us. And you can turn it off and on at your will if you want to. I get it. But you know what? That technology is a double-edged fucking sword. Because now the mainstream media is Truth Social. Now the mainstream media is X. Now the mainstream media is YouTube. Now the mainstream media is what people put on Locals or Instagram or Discord, okay? And we control the media now. So it's not like you can give us a Warren report and shove it down our throats on the 3, or actually there was 4 networks at the time, and have us believe it because that's the official story, and there's very little we can do to get another source, right? And the sleuthers, they're just conspiracy. No. It's not like that at all anymore. See, every man is now a reporter. Y'all fucked up. Yeah, you gave us these devices that you could track us, and you can close my YouTube account after this video right now. But you know what? There's going to be another one, and another one, and another one, right? You shut me down, somebody else is going to pop up. And they're probably going to say the same thing. And they're going to have the same proof. And they're going to have the same multiplicity of sources. Those days are done. So, Deep State, we know what you did. And because we're able to share information and look at all...
In 2 miles, take exit 166 toward New Mexico 599 South.
Turn that down. And look at all the sources. Yeah. Can't do that shit no more. We know you did it. And if it happens again, we'll know you did it. We know. We know. So if you try it again, we'll know it's you. And because we have that information, and because as Gen Xers us being the nomad generation, meaning that we are able to decipher bullshit really fast, and apparently with guys like Angry Man and Officer Tatum, who are all Gen Xers, and the Ted Cruzes and the Rand Pauls, we're not going to keep it under the damn rug. And we're going to turn right around to these Zoomers and Millennials, and we're going to tell them the truth. And, okay, yeah, they're a little slow sometimes, but guess what? They're starting to wake the fuck up. And if we keep telling them the truth, we're going to be like General Patton standing
in half
up
a
in front
mile,
of...
take exit 166 toward New Mexico 599 South.
We're going to be like the General Patton standing up giving the speech that says, let the other guy die for his country. You fight for yours.
Take exit 166.
And eventually, they're going to look at us and be like, wow, all right, big brother. You weren't so fucking mean after all. All right. So, Fort Turning's coming, y'all. And I've actually talked myself into believing it as I'm talking about this while we're driving. I think it's reality. And I think our nomad Gen X generation are going to be the leaders in this. And we're going to pass on to the millennials and the older Zoomers a new greatest generation. So, boomers are done. Your poison's over with. Okay? We're waking up. Gen X has been awake for about 10 or 15 years now. Our younger brothers and sisters and our nieces and nephews now, we're going to wake them up. And they're going to come with us. They're now ours. Okay? It's done. Everybody sees it. You're not fooling anybody. The fucking Care Bear glowworm days are fucking done. Okay? We're done. Y'all have a nice night.